here we go. Yet again, the drops do come. I'm looking at the map right now. Starts from the northeast side, so immediately DNC Lightning Rod. They're happy to drop there. I'm watching for EXO. I'm watching for MDY White, who, as you mentioned earlier on, they have a lot of leeway. Look at them split up because they know that there's not many people on that side of the map. Thunderwatch as well as Stormcatcher up for grabs for them to loot around so quickly into the game.
It's kind of greedy, isn't it? Look at that, they've got 2 beacons, they've got a crafter, 2 entire POIs to loot for themselves. I mean, teams seem to think that Thunderwatch by itself isn't quite good enough to want to land there and just have that as your own POI. But when you add Thunderwatch and Stormcatcher together, honestly, it's pretty damn good as far as a starting position is. No one in fish farms at the moment, so I'm just trying to look around to see where Dugu Play have ended up. Oh, they're actually in Cenote Caves, yeah, and as you can see here, fighting against 20th Guaranteed.
Yeah, quick little contest, and exactly that. I was like, why is there no one in fish farms? No one wants to get the fish? And apparently Dugu Play, they have decided to go fishing against another squad instead. This time around, Trent getting in position here. Oh, that's a lot of bullets ready to come your way. You got the Spitfires. You got, I believe, a Devotion there. 20th Guarantee. They have to play it safe right now. And, well, they can go for the action here immediately, though. Seer focus, trying to get a bit of that intel. Rekazon getting the shot onto Moonlight Tears. 20th Guarantee. It's a guarantee that they're going to find the fight, but it's not a guarantee that they're all going to survive at this rate.
Well, I Kill Only Newbies managed to find a purple shield. As you can see, 2 of his teammates down though, and now in a 1v3. This is looking pretty rough for him, so 20th Guarantee. It does seem like they will keep their supremacy here down in Cenote Caves. Obviously not the best weapons to work with, Sentinel, Spitfire without the sight on them, which is one of my most hated weapons to pick up right at the start here. Can these Watson fences save Eichel Only Noob and maybe allow him to sort of take some isolated 1v1s? No! It's going to be the punches coming out here from Rico, our man who we did see actually over in... he got to go to the lands with barely playing. He may not have even played in the ALGS Split 2 at all. So honestly, one of the luckiest guys, I think, in the entire region. So it's great to see him coming back and trying to earn his stripes this time in Year 3 of ALGS.
And come on, that's what the region's for. Oh. And as of now, Dreamfire, they got his vehicle. They have decided to go for a bit of that rotation. They are nearby, though, against Boogie Borders as well as Northside Esports here by Checkpoint. And that's one thing I mentioned beforehand. Dreamfire, they come from the mill and they're ready to contest anyone on that side of the map. Perhaps they're going to be one of the bigger aggressors here. They have that Seer, they have the Valkyrie, they have the Watson, so pretty much into the Apac South meta right now. Set up a few fences also to cover their retreat, because at the same time, I believe that's going to be GQ right behind them, looking to contest, looking to pat that way, as we're seeing that the ring is within the checkpoint area to begin with.
Yeah, Dreamfire obviously starting at mill, not having a huge sort of rotation there, which means they do get priority over the spots that they want to play. As you can see in this nice little overhead shot here, they're sharing some space with GQ, another team from the Chinese region. Now, with those 2 teams sort of set up there, we've got a couple a bit further north. We've got Buriram, we've got Boogie Borders, obviously, who played a very good first game there as well, sitting up in Checkpoint. And then there's a lot of the teams who either don't have that zone information and they're sort of hedging their bets a bit further towards, say, North Pad, or even making rotations here, as we can see with RTL, who are going down to Down Beast.
With Scenic Drive right now for RTL. I'm just focused in on all the positions for a checkpoint. And I think one thing you mentioned a while ago we didn't get to see too much about was Buriram having that Loba. I watched the games from last weekend, and one thing that kind of surprised me was the amount of the lack of supplies, rather, for some of the teams costing them the game. When you have that Loba instead, if it does become a standoff, you have that black market, you can easily get anything that you need. And perhaps for Buriram, that might be an answer if it's really just going to be this kind of style of play moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, does that Loba, the only team running that in this region, in this lobby right now, does that give them the advantage? Because it's I guess when you're playing Watson, it's almost like having a Loba a little bit, right? Because you're getting those free shields on repeat as you're putting those pylons up. So Loba's kind of the same. You have less defensive options, obviously, but then it gives you, infinite ammo. It gives you a lot of options to start, picking up the big meds, to be, even yoinking some attachments or whatnot from unsuspecting teams. So it makes you think about it. Like, you hear teams when they're sitting around, they have to worry about the Loba. It's like you can't just like trade things for free anymore. You hear them being like, oh yeah, there's a Loba in the lobby. We have to make sure, like, I need you to be right next to me and like paying attention when we're swapping things over. So it does, even just having the one Loba in the lobby does change how some of these other teams perceive and play the game.
Yeah, it's fun to think about in theory, but in execution, Boogie Borders just doesn't care. They actually wipe out 2 of the 3 members of Buriram, and it's really going to be Lalabang on that Loba all alone this time around. Haven't even recovered those banners yet. Boogie Borders, they're in for quite a surprise right now that they're performing well, in fact, despite the roster change. So it just goes to show that these guys, they're prepared for today. They got that second place a while ago. They're looking to get some more kills this time around. And speaking of one of the teams affected by that roster mania, good riddance. You got Jaro here still in position. Don Sun. So is he Don Jr.? Are they related? Have you had this conversation before?
We have. We did have this discussion last week, especially because there was another player that had Don in their name as well. We had 3 Dons in one fight at one point.
Oh yeah, Don Cat from
Donception.
From Stinky B. Is he like their cousin from another country?
Exactly.
Don and Don. Well, it's the dawn of a new name for free agents. Onic Esports here signed in between the weeks. Onic, if you guys don't know, pretty much one of the most illustrious orgs, I have to say, in the Indonesian scene. Makes sense. They're an Indonesian team basically with their roster right now. And this is one of the squads that performed well also last weekend, but they did fall off later on into the matchup itself. Ring though, in the meantime, is it actually going to be right on top of checkpoint, as you got BRU already rezzed up by Lalabang, so they're ready to go for another brawl against Boogie Borders. Boogie Borders in the meantime going after Dreamfire. You got Northside still there, ATH, as we see here on the board. Try to at least get inside of that ring area where T4 is in the way. And for ATH, they're happy to play a game like this, I'd say, Genome, because with the crypto, you can scout, you can play a slower style here.
Yeah, and look, honestly, this is exactly where I was expecting this ring to pull a little bit further to the west. When I saw RTL rotating on top of Down Beast, I was thinking, yeah, okay, these guys are in a really solid spot, just because of where those mountains are and how the zones are touching here to the west. It did feel like it was going to be a hard pull, and that means RTL going to be sitting pretty there, as well as a team like PK. You can see with a bit of building cover there on the north side of that. These teams who are down towards the mill are probably going to be a little bit more in the open. They're going to have to fight for it a little bit more, I'd say. Maybe 4 or 5 teams in that region who I think eventually will come to blows. And then, of course, you've got those teams in checkpoint who are okay for now, but eventually are going to have to start moving through the chokes and worrying about maybe the Valk ulting or making their way in. But okay, this is where we're getting some of the action here. Ant going in on Adal Wolves, who have managed to get the first blow.
Ant Esports, they have lost one for the time being. Bit of a standoff yet again. Adal Wolves, in the time, they get the reset. Heck, but popping that Phoenix kit, there's still lots of fences in the way. And not only that, all the way by Down Beast, they're being watched here like RTL with the charge rifle, especially for the pokes and prods. So ADL, if they want to actually get through to the other side, they can look for perhaps a rotation away from Ant, but right behind him, Onic is ready to punish. So there is teams caught between basically a spider web. There's someone in front of them, there's someone behind them, there's someone poking at them, and as it stands, it's ADL in spot of trouble, despite the fact that they're the ones who got that first blood on. Onic yet again, happy to play a poke game. When you have that charge rifle, I notice a lot that it's just for really boosting up that armor and getting a bit of that chip damage before anything else.
It's so good at it, right? Like, the charge rifle is undoubtedly the best way that you're going to bring up a red armor behind. It's just so good at it. The scout also pretty damn good at the moment. I think especially in Season 14 and Season 15 has been pretty incredible since it came out of the care package. So couple of long-range options there for these guys to be making their way towards those red armors, especially when we consider again that you've got free armor charging from the Watson pylon, so people aren't as scared to take poke in this kind of meta, and it means they're staying alive longer, as we mentioned as well, which means there's more targets for you to be honing in on with those long-range weapons.
Yeah, well, that's been basically the name of the game right now. Play long range, play something like the G7. It's part of the meta now, probably be part of the meta into the next season, into when ALGS catches up with the live patch right now. Have you seen how strong Double Tap is? And we know that these guys, they're very, very good at just playing the poke game as much as possible. And speaking of, one of those teams, Exo Clan, one out before, all the way on the south side, just hampering Golden Sage as they're by the gravity cannon. And Exo Clan, as well as Onyx, I'm looking at them, so north and south side, they really just want to be the teams lagging behind, play that edge game play, and just take advantage of teams like that. That's a nice try, Killapause. I'll give kudos to you.
I mean, that is the most interesting Valkyries I've seen in quite a while. They've gone well into the circle here, just to try and make their way around. I guess they were so scared of the position that EXO were holding there. You can see that Golden Sage went from, I'm pretty sure, like, north of EXO to this far back in the circle just to try and rotate in through Mill and via some of those other rocks to make their way there. But oh no, or was it a gravity cannon?
Yeah, I think they used the gravity cannon.
Right, okay. Yeah. So they're taking the gravity cannon and then
now they're flying. They're flying in, so they flew once, they flew twice. Luckily, they don't go too close to MDY White, and they have a position in the mill. But this is the big battle on the north side. You got Valiant here already hampering Onyx. Onyx decided to disengage and get the hell away from that. And ADL yet again now going to be the next victim of the Valiant onslaught. Can they survive as Onyx have taken a position all the way towards down Beast, but there is a squad waiting for them. They still have to be careful. Arcstar's getting thrown on out. I believe that's PK anticipating their push, and Onyx Esports, they have that Newcastle for good reason. Steps up the wall, and they should be safe and sound for now.
Yep, got their position inside the building. Newcastle wall set up. They've got the mobile shield running as well. Watson pylon on top of that. I mean, it's the defensive bonanza in there. They're going to be pretty happy as we move over to some other teams getting into scuffles a bit further north. They're outside the circle right now. We've got Northside Esports. We've got Valiant in there as well as the two remaining members of Ant Esports, who are just hoping to come across a mobile respawn beacon at some point. You can see Valiant, though, unfortunately, strafing Flame has had to leave his teammates behind. Doesn't even grab the banners. He's just going to be riding it out for the rest of this one. Yeah,
can they strafe in the air enough? That's the question. As Northside Esports, are they hunting down this last member? Do they sense weakness right now? But they realize, of course, that ADL ain't gonna be in the way. Time to fly on out, and Northside actually trying to stay into, well, the ring. It's a little dangerous though, because the compound they were hoping for completely occupied by two squads. Ant has also gotten on out. So this forces a team like Northside here to stay over onto the opening instead, right? They're in between the mountains here, and that's not really the best position, but they'll make do.
Well, they're gonna have to make some interesting choices into this next ring. Meanwhile, GQ have come over and tried to cohabitate here with Dreamfire. This is the building that Dreamfire have been holding for a while. GQ, unfortunately, their building was not within the next circle, so they've had to try and create some space for them, trying to push out Dreamfire. But at the moment, both of them have their this house, and they're just gonna have to try and see who can take that. We're going down here to the southern side of the ring as we're about to get another brutal pull, as you just saw briefly there. And then we've also got PK going up against Onyx on this northern side.
How does this actually work out for Northside, as that ring is there in the middle? In the meantime, though, GQ still trying to set things up. Perhaps a drone EMP can get them out of this pinch. Onyx opposite end, and as of now, they do get the resurrection. Dreamfire gonna get eliminated though off screen, as GQ still waiting for someone to come. It's dangerous now. And EXO ready at them, wanting to push, wanting to get inside, but Sutap here running out of bullets too. So then, not the best situation for GQ. Not the best situation for EXO. It's a bit of a standoff right now though.
But Dreamfire, they were the ones who, really paid the price there, because EXO, you saw the crypto ults coming out as well. I think that was GQ's just trying to add to the pain there, and Dreamfire, unfortunately, in a good position, get pushed out by both of the other teams, and will be going down without any placement points here. You can see Cop Gaps is alone, but he's got a Kraber, so who knows? Maybe there is a chance for him. That said, Boogie Borders trying to run him down very quickly here, and I'll be surprised if he survives much longer. Now, we did briefly see that ring pull, right? It is yet another absolutely brutal ring pull that will be finishing within a choke on the river here, or at least on some water down in the middle of this zone, and everybody is sort of just ringing the outside at the moment, and they're going to have to fight their way into the middle at some point.
Speaking of fight, T4 here fighting for their lives. So dangerous. EXO Clan in the meantime also wanting to get into the action. You got DS right there on top, and EXO Clan is happy to try and play the cleanup crew immediately. T4 now gonna get gone and out. EXO still going for the shots. Golden Sage also too executed on the spot. And here we go yet again with EXO Clan. They have a position now towards the ring. It will be Boogie Borders though, going for the kill onto GQ, as it was so awkward to them flying and realizing Northside was there. And Boogie Borders, these guys are just basically farming whatever is left of the eastern side of this next circle. Onyx though, still the action, and that is going to be PK dueling them outside rather, into a field.
Yeah, all of those buildings in down beast are no longer playable, and you're seeing it is just causing carnage. PK do manage to survive, but for how long? Adal Wolves are on their rear here, and we've got Northside Esports also trying to make something happen in this fight. So we've just lost a lot of the squads. You can see the ADL Wolves there have picked up a couple of kills. Are they looking for even more with Northside sandwich between them, as well as the Rat strafing Flame here, hoping to pick up both places. But all of a sudden we've gone down to 4 squads. This is just wild, and Boogie Borders and EXO on the outskirts here. I'd be worried about these guys if I were ADL.
In a snap, it's just all of these teams eliminated. Strafing Flame though is not done. He already wiped out Northside, but he does get it down onto ADL before Valiant finally shut down by the Boogie Borders, leaving it to the top 3. It is the Boogie Borders in position.
All right.
There you go, EXO and ADL!
Dax,
the battle yet again!
Let's have a listen to Boogie Borders as we go into the last 3 squads here.
Crack 2, almost crack 2.
Do they
Grenade?
have gen down? Do they have gen down?
I don't think
I'm
so.
not sure.
No, they do,
They
they
do,
do, they
they
do.
They have to move.
Hold this and we win.
58, red.
You got syrup?
No.
No, he just used it.
Oh good, so they have to move. Just don't take
Have to
too much
run
damage.
into us. I'm gonna queue them in a second, alright?
Yeah, literally just don't take damage. Don't take too much
Queue
damage.
them.
Nice, good
queue.
for you.
I'm sitting left and watching.
50, oh, double cracked!
Nice, nice. Queue too early. Hard watch this.
No, I'm on the right here.
Yeah, I'm on left. I'm watching left.
Pushing me?
Yeah.
Almost cracked Valk. I got fried, need a bat.
Bad. They're pushing.
I'm
Alright, I just
swinging
need about 1
left.
second bat.
Up on cannon.
Left, Watson!
Almost
Watson
cracked.
nearly cracked!
73. 27.
Dear
One,
Christ!
102.
One, last one! You win this!
Let's go!
Good shit!
Oh shit,
Amazing
boys!
finish there by Boogie Borders. They had priority in that last ring. You saw from the eastern side that they rolled into. A lot of the other teams who had great spots in Down Beast were really just fighting against each other, and it felt like as soon as